Hello and welcome to my sermon. It is October 25th of 2020. Now, last week I was not able to do a sermon because the FBI ransacked this office here while I was back enjoying the leaves in the Wayne National Forest. Now, this is typical of the FBI. They are the fascist bunch of intimidators. They don't follow the law, they break the law. They're committing burglaries, they're committing murders, they're putting brain implants in, they hack, they censor, they lock people up for no good reason, and they need locked up themselves. They destroyed a computer worth about $600, and I am very low income, and I am mentally disabled by government brain implant. Now, they also destroyed a lot of video surveillance. Our government is very professional at destroying lives. And they always seem to destroy the very best. People like me, saints, trying to stop climate change, trying to protect the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge, because the oil industry and the coal industry, they pay the FBI to cause harm to people like me. Those in our government are on the take. In fact, a former prosecutor who prosecuted trumped-up charges against me, he stole more than $250,000 from the IRS. And a former sheriff is in prison for 7 years for corruption, more than 20 counts. A former Nelsonville, Ohio auditor stole more than $40,000. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. We have a government of thieves and criminals and terrorists. And they destroy lives and they destroy businesses in Athens County. That's why Athens County is one of the most impoverished counties in the United States. We have a bunch of sadistic, gang-stalking terrorists running our government. All they know how to do is cause harm. And we need to stop these government-caused burglaries and these government-caused crimes, and we need to punish them, and we need to get the truth from them as to what they did in secret in places like here. Now, journalists today are criminals too. Brainwashed by the government with brain implants and blackmailed and bribed. And journalists need prosecuted and replaced. Journalists today are very, very sadistic. They're committing treason. We need a new set of journalists willing to take on the government, take on the Patriot Act, talk about brain implants, and lock up and prosecute the millions of Nazis in our government. Millions. They're in the government, they're in the media. I'm a journalist, and I know what journalists should do. And journalists need charged with treason, which carries a very, very serious punishment. And they need to feel the force and the weight of the people saying, why don't you tell the truth? Why? Why don't you talk about brain implants? Treason is when you allow a government to go out of control, because when you actually have a responsibility to take on the government. Journalists have a responsibility to talk about the sneak and peeks and the brain implants. Instead, they're involved. They're actually hired by the government to do the sneak and peeks. So that's not an unbiased media. We have a media of terrorists and criminals that need replaced. And Facebook is a great way for the people to be their own media and try to take over the existing media with good media, not sadistic bunch of thugs. And we have millions of sadistic goons in the most powerful positions acting like criminals. And it's done in secret. Alarm companies just let the criminals in and then cover it up. My Brinks alarm system was on when I was walking in the forest. But you can't trust Brinks. No. They're bought off by the government. They're a bunch of criminals. They need locked up, their property seized, given to their victims. Psalm chapter 41, verse 9. Even my close friend in whom I trusted, who ate my bread, has lifted his heel against me. Now, we have no choice but to trust our government and our alarm companies. But when the government and the alarm companies become the criminals, what do we do? Matthew chapter 24, verse 10. And then many will fall away and betray one another and hate one another. What we need to do is hate injustice and go after injustice. Those in the government, those in alarm companies need held accountable. They are the criminals. Journalists need held accountable. They are the criminals. What good is an alarm company if they just let the criminals right in and then cover it up? We, the people, must keep our government in line. Our government is way more sadistic than the British Empire in the late 1700s. Now remember what the founders of our country did to them. Our government is also very similar to the Nazis in World War II, with secret brain implant media brainwashed to cover it up, and of course the media actually employed by the police to do the break-ins. Even when I catch criminals on video, police do nothing about it. And they have completely destroyed my life. I was out speaking, given more than 1,100 speeches before they put the brain implant in. Now people trying to get me to speak cannot even get through to me because government terrorists block that communication. I spent 2 years making a film, Caribou People. Government terrorists destroyed that computer, destroyed all that work. 2 years of hard work, probably paid by the oil industry. And now I cannot leave without them trying or actually breaking in to right here. And remember, our government is supposed to protect our properties from break-ins, not cause them. So it's time for us to resist and get back, make sure they're held accountable. Romans chapter 1, verse 29. They were filled with all manner of unrighteousness, evil, covetousness, malice. They are full of envy, murder, strife, deceit, maliciousness. They are gossips. That is our government today. So let's hold them accountable. So everyone, resist the evil in our government and have a great week.